today's class we'll be talking about usability testing. I know for those graduate students who they are in human factor background, so the graduate student should already studied usability testing before in your other classes. And you have?
Yeah.
So, but for most IT students, I guess you guys never done this before. Because it's a very important part, especially if you want to do interactive design. You know, currently you guys are working on half-fidelity prototype. How is it going? How is it going?
Good.
You already can play with the prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah. So normally at this stage, what we do is we conduct usability testing. We recruit target user samples. Let them try out your half-fidelity prototype, then give you feedbacks. You know. So usability testing is to evaluate the product by testing it with the users. You know, how the real users use the product or the system. It's normally for measuring the human-made products for interactions, you know, or sometimes we use the usability testing for food, consumer products, web and mobile products, applications. You know, one important case, one very famous case is you guys remember the Florida Palm Beach County for the presidency election when Al Gore and Obama. You know, so many people who want to vote for Al Gore hang out to actually vote for Pat Buchanan. You know, because Al Gore on the left is the second, but actually on the poll is the third. You know, so many people who didn't read carefully, you know, made a mistake. That's why last year they have I guess you guys all remember, you know, at the beginning, last night, first Bush announced he win, then Al Gore announced he win, you know, then they keep fighting, you know. So the goal is to discover errors, find out areas of improvement, you know, where we can improve the product or system. To find out for efficiency, like how much time it takes for the user to accomplish a task, how many steps and how much efforts they have to put on a special function or a special task. Second is for accuracy, you know, how many mistakes they made, you know, is that recoverable, you know, and how long it takes them for them to learn and remember and to can they recall after a period of time not using the product, you know. Also some like emotional response. So first things we need to keep in mind, we are testing the site, not testing the users, you know. That's a common mistake many people often make, you know. We are not trying to test a particular person, you know. We want to test a typical person who uses the system, you know. Also, performance instead of subjective measures, you know. Subjective, different people may be different, you know. So we're more on the function itself. At the several classes before, I also talked about the difference between usability and the user experience, right? It's more for the function, for the features. Then you make use of what you learn and apply the lessons to improvements, to optimizations. Then also help you find the best solution, you know. There are many techniques being applied while you are doing usability testing, like the hallway testing, when we say hallway testing, is like you can say you normally do. It's not actually you normally do it at the hallway. Of course, you can do that. What it means is that you go to a place, you randomly pick some users, and let them try out your products, and you observe how they use your system. Normally 5 to 6 people, users. So you can do that on campus, on the street, yeah, shopping malls. A/B testing. A/B testing is very easy to understand, just like the name. It's for you to compare concept A with concept B, or maybe compare current version and version 2.0. So you compare them on different like layouts, different buttons, different features, all the things. So it's important for A/B testing that you compare an apple with an apple, not an apple with a banana or apple with orange. It means you compare same features, same stuff. And how you do that, like what we have been talking about before spring break. Of course, first you need to understand the scenario. What kind of scenario the target user will be using that. The best way, normally we do that in usability lab, but of course the best way is to put them in that scenario, in that real environment, to try these products, this system. Also, of course we will test target users, but ideally I would say is to test the stakeholders. Because you might have a backend for the site administrator to try out. You might have a special interface for the third parties to interact with your customers. So you have to test with the different stakeholders, but normally we just test with the users. Because mainly we work on the front interface for the end users. For currently for back end, for other interface we provided for the vendors, for the third parties, we are not considering that much yet. That's normally how people do it. Yeah. So how we do it? Normally we have a one-way mirror, right? So the observers will be on the left side of the mirror, watching what is happening in the room. And normally we have a moderator, to ask questions, to lead the users to finish some preset tasks, And normally we have cameras. Sometimes we also apply eye tracking, other equipment, that's it often happens. Sometimes you think why the user is not doing as I is supposed to do. Which means you're supposed to do. But they are not doing that way. And normally we will also have a on my company we provide such test for international companies. We will also have a simultaneous translator, and we will also have a note taker. So the typical room for usability testing is that this is the main lab. You have the users, you have all of equipment. You have normally we also use the room to do focus group. Or we let the users try out the system and product or mobile phone. We have a one-way mirror, or maybe we have monitors to have other observers to do observing. And then we have another room for people to control the video and also record the voice. But sometimes we travel to different other cities. We will just bring the cable. We used to do in the rural areas, so we just use the hotel television, to work as a monitor. and let them in another room to do testing room. Some other strategies we use, like this one is think a lot, So we encourage the users to speak out whatever in their mind while they're doing the testing, while they're conducting the task. They will say, oh, now I try to do registration, now I'm inputting my name, oh, what's this mean, maybe, whatever they have in mind, they speak out. So this, you need to pay a lot of attention, especially some not a real sentence, but especially some voice, the voice change. Another technique sometimes we use, we call it co-discovery learning. So we will divide the target user samples 2 at a time. Why? Because this should happen mostly offline, in real life. Normally you will work with your classmates, work with other people. Oh, how it works? Let's figure out together, So the 2 target users will be recruited in the lab to conduct the task together. They will ask questions to each other. They will help each other to figure out how to work, how to use this system, Of course, we also use eye tracking, So this is typical how people read a paragraph, People don't read smoothly; they jump, There's some test. I don't know if you guys have heard that if it's a paragraph, so you put the orders of each word in different sequence. People still can read it, because they actually don't exactly affected by the sequence of the wording, But how many users, my company, we normally recruit 12 users. Like last time I told you guys, there's another theory said when you use 12 users, 90% of the problem will be found out. But Nielsen also has such a theory that 5 is enough, So they even put a methodology model to describe this. It's let me write that. So this is like this. So how many users equal to 1 minus P and how to understand this? The P means the possibilities of how a question, how a problems might be able to find out, probabilities. N means the number of subjects or number of sections you conduct your usability testing, and U is the number. U is the percentage. How many percentage of problems might be found out? So that's normally how people use. Yeah. Like this paragraph, they set the P equal to 0.2. Then you can see the different subjects, how many percentage can be found out. Yeah. Some useful tools, like this is a web solution for the U-test. you just register. They charge. Yeah, you set your testing. Then you select the location geography. Then they will select global users according to your criteria. Find the users for you to participate in your testing. Then they will even also appoint some experts to help you write the reviews and also the result. Then you they also help you generate the report. There's another one called Clue. Clue is very simple. It just gives you ideas how normally people think about your products or your website. So you just put in your URL, then you create a numerical test, then you share to your Facebook or Twitter, then your friends will participate. Then they will say what I can remember, what I can in my memory about your URL, about your website. Then they give you feedback. Then the website collects all the answers together for you. Verified apps. They also have different ways. They have 7, I believe, 8 or 9. Yeah, different ways to help you. I mean, like memory test, mood test. They also you also can give them a page URL, and then even I check it. Like this like A/B test. Then they give you feedbacks. User testing time, quite similar. Later I share a software I would recommend. User analytics. This one, Heatmap.ps. This one helps you to get a heat map for your products. So they will help you generate heat map like this. How people use your products, how people look at your products, click at your products. NIM-Prompt is to help you to do A/B testing. So you will have A and B. Let the users compare. This one is for A/B testing as well. Arrays.io. But the software I would recommend is called Mori. Unfortunately, currently Mori only have a Windows version, so they don't have Mac version yet. How Mori works, when you install Mori software has three packages. One is called Mori Recorder, one is called Mori Manager, one is called Mori Observer. Mori Recorder is to help you to create a study, then record how people use your products. They also work with all the cameras that links to your computer. Then Mori Observer is for the observers to give them marks. Local tasks. Mori Manager is help you to analyze all the data and generate the graphs. For example, Mori Recorder I already explained. Mori Recorder for you to create a new testing. Then set up all the preference, then let people to participate. Later on, I'll explain more details. Observer, of course, like I said, is for the observers to do the observations, to mark, to log all the marks, log all the tasks. Then after you do the testing, you import all the values, all the test files into the manager, use manager to generate the graphs. Also, they can help you to generate PPT files. So how we do it? Normally, we will set up the equipment first. All the cameras, and then we support 3 cameras and also audio input. Then you link them with your computer. So at least you need to have 2 computers, one for the observing people, one for the test people. So first you open the recorder, to set up the project. You create a maybe default study or maybe customized study. You will set the links to different cameras and different audios. Then you also set up the projects. How you want the projects to be. Set up how it will start recording. Maybe you want the testing side to start the test, start recording, or maybe you want from your side, since you are working as an observer, you to start the testing recording. Or maybe you can set a special time, or you can set an action. Say when people start to open the IE browser, something like that. Then when people are doing that, then it automatically starts to record. Also you can set when to stop the recording. When they finish a special task. Then you can modify your study details. You will set different tasks. You will have them to finish registration. You will have them to finish browsing merchandise. You will have them to finish making payments. Finishing sharing to the other websites. Social media websites. You will also set up how you want to mark the logs. To log the marks. You will use different colors and different shortcuts to say when they make a mistake, when they have questions, when they are confused, when they need some help. You put all the marks. So while you are watching how people do that, you click the shortcuts to mark the video. So it is easy. It's very easy. You also will set up a survey. You will preset some questions you want them to answer. You can have them answer all the questions before they contact the task, or before or after or during. You can set all the things. Then also it's important, before you finish, you do a test recording. So you click the test recording, or you just click here, that's for finish recording. Then it will say if it goes smoothly, if it's doing as what it said. When you click special task, where the recording start. When you go to some steps where the survey come out, as you plan, So after you finish everything, you just save the files, save the files. So save the files, then you copy the files to the observer, so the observer can also use the files. And every other test people, subjects, when they come here to do the testing, you can just open the file, let them do that again, So then you need to use another computer and open the observer. When you open the observer, you need to connect with the recorder. So you need to either browser the computer name. You can have to in one same network, or you can put in the IP address. You guys know how to find the IP address for your computer, right? So you just link another computer's IP address, you know. Then after you link, you will show your task logger, you know. So now you are ready to conduct the task. While you are doing the observation, and you have a computer with the observer, Moray observer, you know. So since it's recording already, you know, so you need to log markers. Of course, you know, this for they need help. They complete the task. You know, they have questions. They failed. You know, all things. And also, you may even give scores. For example, this one they finish, then I give them score 1. Or they do it very well, score 2, or maybe they failed, give -1, or you know, something like that. You give them a score. There's some shortcuts, you know, like control space means create a new make marker, you know, something like that. Anyway, whenever you finish with a section, you save the files. Then when you go to next people or next section, you start a new recording. You know, every time you save the files. So after you test 5 people or 6 people or even 12 people, you will have 12 files. Those files are the videos, but the videos with the logs, with the marks and the logs, right? So then you open your Moray Manager. Moray Manager, you will create a new project. Then you import all the videos. You just log markers. You know, you import all the videos. Of course, you still can edit the video or add more marks while you're watching. You know, but of course you don't want to do this too much, because every section will be 1 or 2 hours normally, at least 1 hour. You know. So every video, if you have to look back at the manager and read 8 more marks, that will be a lot of jobs, you know. So normally, I would suggest you log all the marks while you are doing the observations, you know. Right. So at the Moray Manager, of course, while you're look back at the videos again, you can log marks again. You know, you can add more log marks. You can also then you can create a graph using their graph features. You know. So if you don't have a Windows system and you have to use a Mac, Silverback is a simple and good tool to use as well. You know. So I have already also saved some files for you guys to use. I already uploaded to the canvas. This one is for you to do a USB testing plan. So it's just a template, you know, methodologies, participants, you know, roles, tasks, what kind of task you want them to do, scenarios, critical errors, non-critical errors, you know, usability goals. So you refer to the template. Should help you to get some ideas. I also put this for USB testing template. You know, testing report templates. You know, together with the graph you generated from Moray, you can write the reports. And also like a screener, how you want if it's male, female, how many male, how many female, how they use social media or something like that. Based on your target users, who are your target users, your personas, And this is for while you are doing the testing, you also use this as a screener. It's not the first one I just show you is for recruiting, and this one is for you to screen. When your recruiting company bring you 20 people, and you only need 12 or 5, you may want to ask them some questions to make sure some are your target users, some are maybe not. Yeah, so this is about user testing, and even though I know you guys are busy and want to focus more on the prototype, after the prototype, if you are interested, I suggest you try it, and it will be good for you to enter into this area. Yeah. And also, even I'm not requiring the videos and testing anymore. But think about if I'm your client, you want something actually to make clients happy. So they will give you more trust. Yeah. So that's all about today's class. And if you guys have questions or has any problems with your prototype or anything,